Howdy folks, it's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with some more Magic's Gathering. Hope the sound is working well. I'm still, yes, okay, looks like it is. Still getting used to new setup. Definitely didn't spend about 5 minutes freaking out that I couldn't sign on to my computer because I swapped the primary monitor. Definitely not, that would be ridiculous. Hoo-ah. So, store doesn't look like we have any sort of stonks. That is okay. I should probably be picking this up soon, so I know that we can jam the new set that's coming out pretty darn soon. But today, we are going to play a little standard to try and get blue or white spells. Well, we can do that with Domain. Try and get our gold up over 5,000. Do a quick draft. See how that goes, and hopefully buy the Mastery Pass so we can obtain Orb. Get all of those cool cosmetics, and more importantly, the just the good value that comes with it. But Orb, like Orb, Morb, Big Tommy looks like Gandalf because it is Gandalf, because Lord of the Rings is on Arena. Johan, come on. Alrighty. What have we got here? What shall the opponents be playing? Believe tomorrow is going to be the qualifier play-in weekend, which I'd forgotten about. I do have play-in points. I'm still deciding whether or not that's something I want to try. I have not been having as much success in Standard recently. And while I think Domain is a pretty good crack for stuff, I'm not sure how comfortable I feel with it, so I might just hang on to those and wait for the Thunder Junction limited stuff, because limited, even if I'm not super familiar with the format, I always feel like I've got a more fair crack at. Well, we can Garden, Cavern on Dinosaur, turn 3 a Stomper, and then turn 4 Archangel. Let's see if that works. Boop, 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 boop. So, blue-white control. This is gonna be miserable, but having double Cavern so that we can hit both a Dinosaur and Angel is going to be quite useful for that, methinks. So, this doesn't get no more lies. Is that the proper way to conjugate that? No more lies, Ed. Here I do think we'll grab the black source so that we can guarantee this breach later on. Okay. Fielding that Cavern, but that's kind of okay, because we can play the other one on Angel. Yes, could have grabbed a blue source for Domain, but I was thinking ahead to Atali and whatnot. Do we actually want to play Archangel this turn? I think the answer is no. I think we're kind of good just sitting tight. Mirex? Or, okay, Wandering Emperor. Which I think... Well, let's see what they do with it. Tutu? Yeah, we'll bind it. Because then they're gonna tick up, and... It's like, we could Archangel, but... Yep, they start chipping in. It's like there's a song in my head, Wreck of the Edmonds Fitzgerald, because of the phrase, the Chippewa on down. Lake it is that never gives up her end when the gales of November come early. I can't remember the part of the song that involves the Chippewa on down, but I know that's a part of the song. Ah, their own sunfall. Very nice. So do we run out Atali or Atroxa? I think the answer is very clearly Atroxa. Although, okay. Guess they didn't have an answer. So against control, I think breaches come out. Atali also might be a little sketch, because they're going to have a lot of exile and such. Orb, howdy Uno. If we can win a couple of games here and complete our daily quest, we will hopefully be able to get Orb. I like Orb. Excite for Orb. I think going down a Sunfall or two against control is probably wise, since they're already playing enough for the both of us. So absolutely negates. Immodane's Recruiter might actually be good for trying to make things a little tougher on them. See if we can sneak things in while their shields are down. I don't know about Flanker. I also hope. I was very happy that we got a second orb yesterday. Always need more orb. I don't think Tidebinder is good. I still don't really know how to sideboard well against, I guess, Long Goodbye for their creature lands, so we can go down like one up the beanstalk. Let's see how this goes. More orb in the baba. The Borb. I do love this pet. This very cute little tumbly, icy bear thing. I don't know what it is, but it's cute, and I want to feed it a Snickers bar. For some reason, my mother was always very insistent that black bears would love Snickers bars, and I was only recently able to convince her that no, that would make a little baby black bear very, very ill, because they are similar to dogs. But so that's the public service announcement. As much as bears might enjoy, or might seem like they would enjoy chocolate, they would not enjoy chocolate. Ooh, I actually really like that card style. Very nice. All right. Topiary Stomper number 1 gets No More Lies. You know you want to. Yeah, that's right, opponent. I mean, actually, no, that's wrong. Means that you're building up for a board wipe, which is spooky. Very spooky. Next turn, we can play another one. Okay. I do like an Anchorage in the graveyard. Hey, opponent, guess what? Second Stomper. This is going to be a nice Sunfall for you. Oh, this one gets the counterspell. I see. I don't understand why. I mean, maybe they didn't have the counterspell for the first one, but I somehow doubt that. Yes, exactly, chicken butt. Guess what? Chicken butt. Now, we can pay for a No More Lies here. I didn't want to run out the Cavern of Souls prematurely. Aha! They brought in extra counterspells. We're getting countered so hard. But hey, we've got good answers for some of their things. Okay. Now we get to attack with a 4-4, and I could have played out the Cavern of Souls untapped so that we could try a Herd Migration, but I think it gets countered, and then Field of Ruins, so I want to save the Cavern of Souls, if possible. Gonna mill us? Or just try and shrink things. Oh? This statement requires a bit of clarification. Just the concept of physics or working with physics? Because I don't know, I find them somewhat useful personally. If this doesn't get countered, they've got a sunfall. They have a sunfall. Oh, they didn't! We got the control player without the answers! Yo! It happens sometimes. Nice! Wow, that was only... I guess we are fairly green. How about we do some Boros Convoke? So Uno, why do you hate physics? What about physics do you hate? Zytos. Ooh, this is a tough hand to crack. So we get to Inspector off Cavern, Lethal Demolition, but then we don't have the white source for Case or Evangelist. I think we mull. This is a worse hand overall, but a better hand for actually being able to cast our things. At a D on your last exam, I entered the next one with the hope that I get a better grade because I literally studied hours and I got a D+. Why? Okay. Yep. That one, I understand that. When taken our... I took an AP Physics class. Actually, I took AP Physics 2 as well. Most of our tests, I think the highest grade that folks got was a 40% of the whole thing. The teacher was nice and curved it, so it didn't translate into actually getting a D or whatnot. But, I mean, physics is a really tough thing because you are interacting with a lot of moving parts for trying to get things to... We're trying to get things to work out the way that you know they should. Well, we low rolled against a really good enchantment start. So we can kill the Calyx, but they're just life gaining so much that it probably doesn't matter. We can't attack it. Yeah, I think we're just dead. I know, if I remember correctly, I think... Wow, they have the second one. Nice. I believe my AP Physics 1 prof, AP exams are scored 1 through 5. I believe he had only actually managed a 4 on his certification. So, yeah, they are not an easy thing. Yeah, we just got rolled. I like green-white enchantments, but it feels so dependent on Calyx these days, which, I don't know, not my jam. That is fair. I enjoy the things that physics gives us. I like understanding some of the stuff, but a lot of it is very mind-melty, and it's often taught very poorly. There are better ways to get people... There are better ways to get people interested and not absolutely hate going into class every day. Oh, I need to reach out. I had a friend in high school who went on mission and I fell out of contact, but he was someone who actually loved physics. Even he had a lot of trouble with the classes, but this was someone who would fill up whiteboards at our school with some stuff that he was trying to learn about general relativity. And oh, what's the, not general relativity, but the whole field that has to do with it. Modern physics? Modern physics, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. So, good on you for taking it. Good on you for studying super hard. I'm sorry that it's tough, but keep at it. Yes, I think that... Physics often feels a lot like the Baba puzzle we were working on yesterday, where you think you got it, and it's all just trying to betray you in the end. So we could Knight Errant. I think Knight Errant is actually probably better. Okay. We would love some land. I would be okay blocking this Feldon with the Knight Errant, even though it's kinda awkward. Aha. Godric. Godric we can case. Human? Pew pew. Yotian Frontliner. Tap down these things. Scry 1. Yeah. No epic here. And... I will attack with it for 3. But yeah, I don't know. Physics, having taken a number of classes, while I still could not explain hardly anything to do with electricity to anyone, there are a lot of things that I have a much better handle on because of taking those classes, like how friction works and things like that, that it's a coefficient of friction, and it's proportional to the amount of force that's being applied to it. Things like that. Really useful. Getting a slightly better idea of how pulley systems work and such. Well, we will block there. They are going to Monstrous Rage? No, they're digging. They can play a Godric. Feldon is always an interesting include to me. I could very much see replacing Feldons with the Fugitive Codebreaker, just because, I don't know. It's a 2-2 that sometimes draws you cards, but most of the time people just play around it, so... I think we run out the Evangelist. We would love to Recruiter, but I don't think Recruiter is quite enough damage this turn. We will tap these. Here's a fun fact. One of the most often used rules, they're not actual rules, in the Polish schools is the triple Z rule. Okay. What does that entail? Triple Z. Alright, we got to Vigilance. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. There we go, and more quest progress. Nice, chugging along. Stands for oh, I'm bad with that pronunciation. Is it Zakuch? Zadach? Zapomniech? I think it's... I've always heard the C with the accent as a, like, CH. I'm doing my best. Which basically means study hard, pass, forget. Yep, I think that's very true of American schools as well. We don't have anything quite as catchy, but a number of people that you take a class, you info dump for the exam, and then you move on. It's sad. Um, the second and third ones, really? Zadach and Zapomniech? But, so, is it not, is it like a short U? Is it Zakuch as opposed to Zakuch? Or... but yeah, no, it's I find it sad that the general education system that seems to be fairly prevalent around the world, from, or at least the places that I have interacted with. More of an ooh. Okay, so Zakuch. I always did barely study and to barely pass. Yep. Yep. They light. Wow, that was aggressive. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's sad that by and large education has settled on focusing on assessment more than actually promoting learning. I get it because they need to have metrics and whatnot for trying to figure out if someone's prepared, whether or not they should get funding, etc., etc. But I don't know. I know at least in America, Zakuch. That's, I think, as good as I'm getting it, although I may try bringing it up, might try doing a, do I even bother blocking? Hold up, sorry, thinking, they run out of Godric, it's still not lethal, they could Godric and, but am I ever going to block? I think we risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, I might try pulling up a pronunciation thing, but I know, like, in America, the education system was basically imported from 1800s Prussia by a guy named Horace Mann, which was essentially, it was just trying to make sure that people could read. And the fact that it hasn't changed significantly in the past well, I guess not 200, but like 150 years, I think is somewhat telling. Okay, so we deal 2, and then this should be enough. Bam, even if they have something to pick off one of our creatures. Being born in Poland is such a flex because the language is so hard, sometimes even we can't understand how our own language works sometimes. Nice. Nice. That's honestly great. We made diamond. Hell yeah. I think this is the earliest diamond I've ever made in a month. Awesome. Although we're going to ditch it because we're going to start playing a bunch of limited soon. Too much grammar? Yeah. I imagine it's sort of... I don't know how English speakers are able to get English as well as they are. Because, man, English is such a wonky language. Oh, you once got Mythic Day 2? Nice, Plague! That's awesome. I've only made Mythic in Constructed once. I am not, by and large, a Constructed player. I made Mythic with a variation on this Boros deck, like, 2 months ago. Made top 800. But yeah, I am very much, I tend to be a limited player. I like draft. Draft makes sense to me. Draft is home. But yeah, I don't know. It's impressive to me how English is just full of exceptions. I know a lot of folks who learn English as a second language. I've heard them mention that it is an absolute mess, and you know, I understand and tend to agree. So it's very fascinating to me that we don't have a whole bunch of trouble understanding our own language very much, but that was something that scared me. The other day I was looking at it, I didn't realize that the literacy rate in America is, I think, 81%. The fact that 19% of the adult population isn't able to basically read at a level that I forget what they were defining as literacy. I would need to dig into that a bit more, but yeah, that I don't know, that I find that spooky personally. um, that's a really important thing. Literacy opens up a lot of information, so yeah, that is the type of thing that I would love to work with, and part of why I think libraries are important. You'll see that as a recurring theme with me. For Polish lessons, we usually got 2 books, one for literature and both an entire book and an entire exercise book just for grammar. Oh my god. Is there... Why is the grammar so difficult? I know that there might not be like a clear answer to that, but like I would assume that there's some sort of linguistic root that can be traced that helps explain why things are so complex, but wonky. Yeah, I think we tapped 3 things. Tapped. Why did I tap the cavern? That was not a good play. At least we can blood away a mountain, but I think we're very much on the back foot here. Because we wanted to be cooler than everyone else. No idea. Fair enough. Well, it's I am a serial language learner in that I love to learn little bits of languages and learn like things that are cool about them, and I could not hold a conversation in hardly any of them. That said, I have learned a bit of Irish as well as a bit of Scottish Gaelic, and I found it hilarious because Irish, the rules are fairly quick to pick up on, in my opinion. They're very consistent. But when I started learning Scottish Gaelic, you can tell that there are a lot of similarities. There's a lot of like overlapping words, but it feels like they decided, oh, English seems fancy, we should start jamming in the confusing parts of that and make it objectively worse. Which was it was a very, very odd experience, but yeah, languages be funky. I'm trying, I've got a lot of friends who are really into some like Chinese novels right now that I'm trying to read, and I'm trying desperately to wrap my head around the romanized Mandarin stuff, and it's just the poem that's composed entirely of the word ma with different inflections and the context of how the words are positioned changing the meaning. Look, man, my brain is not built for that. Wait. Okay, there we go. I was like, our board is too big to convoke. Here's our longest word. You might have seen it before. Konstantinopolitanczyzikoinecka. Wow. Nope. Whenever I get to the topic of Polish with people, I just want to see how they'll pronounce certain words. Yeah, that's wonky, my dude. Cool, but wonky. Let's see what we dig to. Warden? Warden could be good. And Recruiter? Warden can help us out a fair bit. Yep. And again... Oh wait, no, that was necessary for how I was playing the stuff. Okay, we're good. We're Gucci. So if we can survive this turn, I think I leave the bat back. This is a very spooky position, because they get to just keep chipping us down with this War Leader's Call, but... We definitely have the better board presence. So they have... Wait, hold on. So 6 blockers. We have... Okay, so we would outnumber them by 5, 6, 7. They could... So maybe 5, but then... It's going to be at least 2 power on each of them, 3 power on each of them. I think we have lethal if we just Recruiter next turn. Oh, now we definitely have lethal if we Recruiter. Alright. That's the game. Anyways, here's another one. Literally uses only Polish letters. Oh, I have no concept of those other accents. Zulch? I'm sure that is not correct, but intriguing. Zulch, or no, I'm not. So I don't know what to do to the Z. I don't know how. I think of that accent as a fada from like Gaelic. I don't know how that's going to affect the O. An L with a cross, and then the C, which is kind of a ch sound. Okay. They're not going to get the triggers off of this, so just doing dailies? I can respect doing dailies. Get all your kills in. Opponent. There we go. It's like, you've got one more. That is, I think that, well, I guess you could block the 6-4, but find it hard to farm cards in MTGA? Fair. Do you do draft, or are you like a constructed only type player? Because I know it's a lot easier to do it if you are drafting tends to be better value even with the new, I say new, the newish constructed only. Yeah. It is definitely tough. Even the new constructed events are not super great for it. Because yeah, like what I typically do for a set, and you'll see it if you stick around. Basically, I try to draft to rare completion because it is one of the most effective ways, and I love draft. I have fun with it. But yeah, standard. It is certainly a rough economy. Even they did the golden packs, right? I never actually buy golden packs, but so I'm not super familiar with the constructed only economy, but I know it is significantly less forgiving. Um, although I will say I'm still sad that the old standard events went away because I liked those. Those for me were way more fun than the latter because I was typically able to get a slight positive EV. It gave me something to work towards once I had done the drafting, and it let me, farm. It made my gameplay beyond the like 15 daily wins feel important. But I understand. I'm glad that y'all get something that is a at least slightly better payout than what the old events were. It can actually help you get those packs and whatnot. So we can Epicure, Demolish, and Frontliner. I think that is very doable. Barb Eric. That is... I applaud the opponent's name. Very nice. What I dislike about ladders that the ranks are connected across all constructed formats. Yes, the fact that you can be number 830-something, but that's not necessarily in Standard or Explorer or whatnot. That's across all of them. The lesson... Shit, the homework... the just gets progressively more and more. Oh dear. So, Boros, but it might be the Boros control. I still think we try just gorging our hand onto the board. Are they gonna get lost us? Brit Fanny? Feels... Okay. 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 I'll give it opponent. Sure thing. I could have used it as a blood token, but... yeah. Oh dear. Disdistium rankium gzegskioki i picie zamiast wziąć się za dyzdizownicie, nazarli si na ksoksomiacy ryzuci i rizdem rizgali do rozazno zonie. Brit Fanny. That's the best you're gonna get out of me. I feel like I was just leaking brain matter everywhere. I assume I'm not going to get good marks on my Polish test. Okay, yeah, this is the Boros hard anti-Boros deck. Love it. I respect it. True. That is an upside to knowing Polish. That sounded French for some reason. I was trying to channel the bits of Russian I knew. If I was going more French, I would probably be far more insulting. Hon hon. There's the temporary lockdown. Sigh. Well, let's let's do it for vampire. I think we hold off and see if we can get a adventured Imidane's recruiter. Made games. Yes, to make it easier. I don't think it's worth it to just frontliner. They're just gonna kill us with manlands, aren't they? Like, this is our fate. Its Boros Convoke is a very powerful aggro deck, but its resilience often leaves something to be desired. Oh, they aren't Boros. Okay, they're Jeskai. I feel slightly better about this.
Let your blade do the talking.
Why do I have Tom's Diner stuck in my head? The answer is because I always have Tom's Diner stuck in my head. But, we can frontliner. No, because then they just eat the frontliner and they probably have an answer for Imidanes. Complicated answer, personal. I used to. I am currently in a living situation where I have loved ones who absolutely cannot get COVID. So for the past 4 or 5 years, I have been mostly just at home. And when I go out, like currently, I am in a 2-week quarantine because I went down and visited some folks. So eating a 2-week quarantine just to go play my Friday Night Magic has not been worth it to me. But it is definitely something that I enjoy doing, and I look forward to doing again when I'm in a different living situation and whatnot, because my personal tolerance, as long as I'm going out with like an N95 or KN95 mask, I'm typically feeling fine about things. So I look forward to doing some in-person MTG again, but at least presently, I'm not in a position to be able to do it. But yeah, used to be my Friday night, was often... Okay, we'll wrap this one up. My chosen Friday night format was... Oh, Pauper? Yes, Pauper is great. I'm big fan of Limited. I never really put together decks very much. I would do like some casual ones for playing with friends, and Commander, because who doesn't build Commander decks these days? But yeah, just, sitting down, paying $15, do a nice draft. That was a great time for me. Pauper is a really interesting format, though. I love the constraint of common cards, and you would think that would make it less powerful, and yet there are plenty of busted commons to do some really goofy stuff with. This one is a great example of very similar words with the same pronunciation. Gdi pomorza ni pomorza to pomorza, morza morza, gdi morza ni pomorza to pomorza morza Gdansk. I don't know what to do with the different Z's, but yeah, that's very wonky. Microplastic. I mean, they're going to get all up in my business. I'm not going to be able to get rid of them. I did used to think that the pets were frivolous, and then I got cute pets, and now I'm very happy to have them. A little white dragon, very adorable. A little chompy boy. Vampire. So, probably also Boros? I would hazard a guess. Would you like to trade Frontliner for Vampire? No, that is probably a good idea. Unless they play an island, and then we're up against Grixis Vampires, which would be hilarious. Definitely Boros. They're also on the big cavern plan. Oh, they're afraid of the resolute reinforcements? I don't know. I feel like I might, if I were them, still attack in. Like, I don't attack in with the 1-2 because that's definitely a good trade for the opponent, but I don't know. Because this, if I'm doing that, they know that I'm hitting critical mass this next turn. I think opponent was a little too cautious there because I would have been able to develop my board less if I had traded, so it probably would have just been getting a free point of damage. Warden and Imidane's Recruiter. Nice. I do the Boros decks that run the Lunarch, the 1/1 not quite Soul Sister. Always, I've never quite understood it. I get that it's trying to be a good piece in the mirror match or against mono red, but typically speaking, against mono red, I can see it being useful, but again, at least in the mirror, typically you're winning by significantly more than. I mean, I've seen those typically on a good game gain maybe 11 life. Typically, when I'm killing in the Boros match, I am killing by more than 10 life. So, I don't know. It's, yeah. Green! I didn't even register that. Are they playing Naya Convoke? What is... I'm intrigued. Opponent, explain yourself. Please, justify it to me. Why green? Or did you misclick? So, okay. They can recruit her next turn. We could... We don't, I think... Okay, so... They block there. We deal 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh, actually, it might be Exactsies. Yeah, never mind. Because, yeah, 3, 6. So they're blocking here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Unless they have a 1 mana thing to really goozle us, but even then... Even then... So, show us what you got. I mean, the green spooks me, but they don't have green up, so they've got a colorless or a 1 mana flash human, which I don't think we have. Pretty sure this is good game. Yes? No? Maybe so? Good game. Okay. It's like, okay. That was one where if they gained a life point or two, that would have made a difference. But I also, if that wasn't lethal there, I'd be developing out a couple of other big things, getting a Warden down that grows, and then next turn hitting them for a whole lot more. It's so I don't know. It's oftentimes the mirror match is kind of trading haymakers. It's lining up the shot and getting them right through the heart. So I don't think that I don't know. I have played a couple hundred matches with this deck. I have played a lot of mirrors. The number of times that I've seen those life points be relevant is very few, and I think most of those times the opponent would have been better served by having a warden or another one drop that produces a token, or even cut it, put in some higher stuff. A lot of those opponents didn't have Adelines and whatnot. I know I cut Adeline from my deck, but I don't know. It's principle of the thing. This is a goofy hand, but we can at least Inspector Gleeful demo. Case is going to be, we need a white source sword. This is a very tricky mana hand. My mana base I have not invested in as much as I should have, so that's kind of been my biggest issue with the deck. But we definitely keep Recruiter, Demo, and Inspector. So do we want to keep Case or Evangelist? And I think the answer is we keep the Case, because Case does a lot. I think it is an underappreciated piece of the Boros deck because it allows you to be aggressive in clearing a blocker, defensive in clearing an attacker. You can get some very big stuff with it, and it also contributes your to your aggressive plan. So I think it is a very important one. Okay, no cut down, fair enough. I suspect we will see one. So next turn, we're hoping that they play a threat that we case, solve case, and then we get to recruiter, hopefully murder. There's the cut down. Good old post-combat cut down. Tenacious underdog? Awesome. This totally fits with what we were hoping would happen. Pew. Ping ourselves. Kill the underdog. Swing in. Make it a nice little buff, even if they Path of Peril. We're feeling not the worst. So we aren't going to be able to lethal with Imidane's Recruiter, so we might instead... Definitely aren't going to, so we just hold on to Resolute Reinforcements. Yes. Slowed us down, but we are not beaten, even if this is a Sholdred. Oh, yo, Ascendant Animus Sleeves. Flesh Gorger. Howdy, Fleshy George. That is definitely spooky. So... Oh, cut down? No, okay. Ah, Warden. Warden helps. That's still... It feels like they're holding a cut down, so that's... What do we do here? So we can Warden and Recruiter? We Warden and Recruiter. We trade one thing. They are gonna trade for the Warden if they don't just cut it down. And the Warden would help us a lot if we can make it, but they're just gonna go for the Throat or something it. So I think we go for it because we want to... I'm fairly certain Warden dies. The fact that there was the stop there, I don't think there's many things other than cut down it would be, and you... There we go. I think that is one thing that kind of bothers me about Arena as opposed to Paper Magic, is that there's sometimes an actual hard tell of whether or not an opponent has something, as opposed to just, oh, they thought about that a little long. But I don't know. It's still fun. I enjoy it. But it's a fundamentally different experience. So I think if I were the opponent, I might actually not block here, because I'm probably going to gain more life in being able to just repeatedly attack with the Gorger. But I don't know what the opponent has. There's a lot of different things that are going to influence that decision-making process. Okay, Tenacious D. Lily. Make us sacrifice something or just uptick?
And you think you can win?
Okay. Token goes away, and then we'll trade for the underdog. I imagine. So they'll start dashing underdogs. Or they might... Okay. Yep, so absolutely they uptick, and then they'll dash an underdog. We play this in response so we don't lose it. We do not block a blitzed underdog, but it does mean that they can't do stuff defensively, and they are losing 2 life to it. Draws them a card, which is important, but we can apply some pressure. We do need to kill the Lily, I think. But if their card advantage engine is losing them 2 each turn, we're feeling kind of good, especially since it isn't. I could have maybe held that, but I'm worried about a second Lily, and that 5th mana can be a breakpoint so that we can, like, Imidane's Recruiter some stuff. Okay, Shelly is spooky. We need something to get us a bit more reach here. If we got an Imidane's recruiter that would be lethal. We will draw. We don't care about our own life. That is rough. So they're going to be gaining. They're going to gain 2 each turn, and now the underdogs are life neutral. So the question. Oh, well, see, she is bad, just not for whoever's playing her. um. Oh god. So basically, do we save up and try and get one more might down? They might just play another thing. So we attack in, we deal 4, they gain 2. I think we try saving up a turn, and hopefully we draw something else that's helpful. So I'm going to hold back. They do get to just gain 2, which is frustrating, but I think if we can get it to where we're dealing 4 each turn, that's a significantly better clock. That really sucks. I think that's going to do it for us. Yeah, no, Shouldered is busted. Um, I'm still sad that Massacre Girl isn't quite as good. Just doesn't stack up well against. Like, Massacre Girl is pretty good against the aggro decks, but the control and mid-range decks, there's just you can't get the removal that works with her that can actually stack up against those threats, which sucks. And we just ripped 3 lands in a row, so it's gonna be a good game. But that happens. That's part of Magic. I think that's a very interesting part of Magic's design space, is that your resources are something that are almost bad to have more of in certain contexts. So it kind of, I don't know, it adds a very interesting degree of randomness. But okay, we have hit 5,000 gold, so why did I click Dex? We're gonna do a little quick draft here. Get our gems hopefully up over 3,400 so that we can buy the Mastery Pass. Oh, it's not 1 anymore, it's LCI. That is fine. I'm not particularly good at drafting either of them because I fell into a deep coma where I wasn't doing Magic for a while. Not actually, just it kind of feels that way. But yeah, so let's do a little quick draft, and let's see what we can do. Restless Anchorage. That's actually a card that would be nice to have, and B, I think a pretty good one. Because blue-white artifact do stuff is a pretty good place to be in this from what I remember. So I think we take the Anchorage. Other arguments might be, I like the Adaptive Gem Guard. The Fossilize is interesting. I don't think it's probably that great. Atali's Favor can also do some goofy stuff, and I do love a Skull Taker in certain contexts, but let's do a Restless Anchorage. God, it's been so long since I've done a quick draft. You may have noticed I paused there for a while. I was waiting for the timer to tick down. um, so counter target and then discover X. So kind of a big Mana Drain-esque dealio. Interesting. Seems like it could be powerful. Guardian of the Great Door also seems like it could do some interesting stuff. So good payoff if we can get a bunch of like little artifacts. This helps us make them. This is a good thing to be tapping. Let's try Hurl into History. This is not my typical playstyle, but I think that seems fun to give a shot. Oh, Helping Hands. Oh, that's where it's from. Okay. Seen so many people playing the Haughty Jin deck and didn't realize that's what it was. Okay. Ancestral Reminiscence. The worst ancestral recall. Okay. So not a lot of blue or white here. Deconstruction Hammer, I remember being kind of decent. I like equipment, especially in draft. There is some very good red, but let's take the Deconstruction Hammer. Let's see what we can do with these. Okay, so it can gain unblockable. Didact Echo, that can have flying. And draw some cards. Seems pretty good, pretty decent. Dig Site Conservator. Oh, and that... Okay, so not a bad curve filler. But let's try the Merfolk Cave Diver, see if we can get a little explore going. So can bounce and save something, or allow us to replay and get some more value. Blue removal spell that tucks, seems good. Let's try the Mischievous Pup. I'm a little all over the place. I don't know exactly the line that we're looking for, but at least we are in blue and white, it seems. Big blue thing that can cycle early seems good, especially Ward 3 is nothing to sneeze at even that late in the game. Dauntless Dismantler. Okay. Seems like something that can stop some early aggression and have some niche value. I will take it. Ah, Curator of Sun's Creation is very cool. Not what we're doing, I think, but very neat nonetheless. Well, okay, we have seen some good red. We don't have anything else for us in that pack, so we will try that. Um, no, this is best of one quick draft. So, um, Pirate Hat? I think probably not. Acrobatic Leap seems like a decent combat trick. We'll give it, we'll give it a shot, give it a shake. Ah, and Attentive Sunscribe came back. Love to see it. This is the deck that wants it. I think Helping Hand might have some good things to do. Didact Echo, sure. I do like that we're getting some of the blue and white back around. Deathcap Marionette, sure. The Fungus Puppet. Ooh, Tarian's Journal. Not what we're doing, but I saw Seth, the Saffron Olive, do a very lovely grab and sack deck. This got played against me in the Artifact remix draft, and that is powerful. Uh, but we don't actually have our token generation very much yet, so I think I'd rather take a Gem Guard because it's a slightly safer payoff. Although Guardian of the Great Door again. Dear Lord, Uno, that's a lot. Oh, Master's Guide Mural. Awesome. That is a great payoff for this kind of deck. Just pump out some 4/4s. Cloud Guard, I love a lot. Thousand Moons Infantry is not bad, but I think Cloud Guard is just way better. Polish is fun because every word has like 15 forms. Oh, so as part of the grammar difficulty, the like tense, because damn, I get grumpy because German has like what? Actually, I don't know how many German has, but it's more than I'm used to. Clay Fired Bricks, I think, is also pretty decent. So we've got some like good big late game artifact payoffs. That's one of the hardest tongue twisters? Okay. Well, you'll forgive me if I do not attempt it. Or at least not for the moment. I think Thousand Moons Infantry is decent. Iron Paw Aspirant, 1/1 counter, so kind of 2 mana 2/3, or a Runaway Boulder, which is removal that can also get crafted and such. Actually, I think I like that as a piece of removal. I think that works well with the things we're trying to do. Uchenbach, the Great Mistake. I, you know what? He seems like he is a pretty great mistake. Decent guy. Don't know him personally, but I like to believe. We'll take an Envoy. So that's a good monosync for making some stuff to tap down. Don't think we're going to play the Eroska Puzzle Door. Do we play the Disruptor Wanderglyph, though? I think we're more likely to play that than the Puzzle Door, so we'll take it, we'll think about it. We'll speculate. Volatile Fault. You create a treasure token? Oh, that's so bad. No. Not destroying one of my lands for a treasure token to get rid of one that we really need to get rid of. I can help it in any way, shape, or form. Archaeologists, so that we can recycle some of our stuff, sure. Definitely on the chopping block if we can help it. Synapse Necromage. Fungus Wizard. That's actually really cute. I like that. But we'll take them infantry. Family Reunion. It seems like it has some uses, especially if we are going wide. Unlucky Drop. That's an okay piece of removal. I think that is a less okay piece of removal, but we'll see. All right. So this is, we've pretty much made playables by pack 2, which feels decent. Echoing Deeps. I can see how that would be fun in Constructed. I don't think it's a good limited card. We're not here for the rares. Tinker's Tote, though. Tinker's Tote is kind of exactly what we're looking for. Helps go wide. It's an artifact that we can craft with. Heck yeah. Ooh. Spring-loaded Sawblades. Is that only tapped creature? That's a little goofy. Oh no, this is actually a really good pack for us. So we would love the Guardian. I think Guardian could be sweet for us. Sawblades, I think, is also fantastic, but Quicksand Whirlpool just gets rid of something. I think this is what we need the most, and we hope that something else wheels. That's the hope. Benthesaur. Think we're already kind of full up on high drops unless it's significantly better. I don't think we take another infantry, so let's take another envoy. Another Benthesaur. Really wants us to take it. I think I'll take a second Quicksand Whirlpool. Doesn't hurt to have 2 panic buttons. We could take a third. I think the third might be a little much. Glorifier of Suffering. We will take another one. We might cut it, but we don't want another family reunion. Compass Gnome. There's so many words with double meanings. Okay. Oh, I forget what those are. Can't remember. Homophones, homonyms. But, yeah. Those always add a lot of complication to a language. That's not good. We'll do another Dim Guard. Na Ursi zile 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 sobi puna zile raz te zile pekla zile te zile use nie zile. That's a lot of something zilas. Ooh, Thousand Moons Crack Shot. Happily. We could take the Courtyard, but I like that as a 2-drop a lot better. Don't think that's a worthwhile one to be playing there. Shipwreck Sentry, we might want. We'll see. We'll see what our deck looks like at the end of the day. I don't know. The fact doesn't go into your hand and whatnot. The top of library stuff is just not fantastic in my opinion. We'll take another helping hand, I think, honestly. Cave Diver. I think Cave Diver actually probably gets out. I don't think we have a lot of Explore. Zila Vein, but also the past tense of live. Huh. Okay, I can at least see how those might be, like, related. Because, like, veins as representative of life and whatnot. Or does it exclusively mean, like, a gold vein? I assume, like, a biological blood-pumping vein. Ecclesotes? Sure. Specifically for female form. Okay. So, Polish does have gendered nouns and whatnot. That makes sense. Okay. What is this mess of a deck going to look like? We'll just put the things in so we can really look at it. Okay. Restless Anchorage, that's cool. We don't really have big rares, but we've got some good uncommons. I like the Quicksand Whirlpool. I like the Runaway Boulder. I think this is a good removal suite. I don't think we've got enough stuff in our 3 slot that we want to get back, so I don't think Helping Hands. Definitely not 3 Acrobatic Leaps. We don't have a lot of Explorer. We've got the maps from the Anchorage, so I think we ditch the Cave Diver. We might keep extra Didact Echoes. We'll see. I like the Gem Guards. I actually kind of like the Disruptor Wanderglyph as a 4-drop, but we will see. I think cut a Family Reunion. Song of Stupefaction. It's only, it's still around as a blocker. It can still do its passive thing. I think we've got better options. We do have a number of artifacts, so Shipwreck Sentry might not be a bad 2-drop. I think at least one Glorifier Suffering. Actually, I think both get out, or 2 get out. I think we can do 1, but we don't have a lot of token generation, so I don't want to sacrifice too much. There are so many tongue twisters that there's a goddamn Wikipedia page with links for each letter's tongue twisters. Oh my god. That's kind of great, honestly. I think we can cut a Didact Echo. Envoy, I think, is just good. That's a Centaur Courser that has a late game monosync, so I don't mind it. I think Mischievous Pup probably gets out. Mostly we abuse the forms like with that one. Okay. The Pichala, Pichala, Pichala. Oh my god, yeah, that's... I didn't even pick up that. So those are all different forms of the same word. Dear lord. Voltaic Archaeologists is maybe not great. Like, a lot of the stuff, we're not sacrificing the artifacts, we're going to hopefully sacrifice tokens, and a lot of the stuff exiles, so we'll ditch that. 3 more cuts. You want to have enough 2-drops. Why does... I don't know, the deck feels almost smaller. Hold up. Let's also, T-crit. Let's see. Oh, wait. Whoop, there we go. Type creature. So we do have a lot of non-creatures. I'm gonna actually cut that Family Reunion, I think. Deconstruction Hammer I like. That's a decent combat trick. But I think we actually maybe even cut that. I think we're going more for value. That's not a bad way to get it, but when you're kind of lower on creature count. Yeah, I don't know. I was getting the feeling that we were like a little creature light or something because I was looking at these and not feeling good cutting any. So maybe it's the unlucky drop since we've got the Quicksand Whirlpools? I think that's it. Yeah, okay. Let's give this a shot. Blue-white, let's be Teferi. And, Dwayne, because we like Dwayne. Sure. There's a lot of ones that just have one chosen letter, then put a lot of similarly spelled words with that letter, like Kroll, Kroll, Kupil, Krollaway, Carolini, Corale, Coloru, Coralowego. Or Coralowego. Dear lord. I do often wonder who sits around thinking up tongue twisters. I don't know. I would be very curious to know where they originated and under what circumstances. Was this someone who went, I'm going to find something cool, people? True, true. But like, is it something where it just happened? This was a conversation they were having and they went, that was hard to say. Oh, I should refine that. Or was someone sitting down going, what can I do to find things that would be hard for people to say? Because that would be really funny. Okay. Just get bored, then think of one. Here at least? Okay. I mean, that makes good sense. See, that's if I had a time machine, I would just be horribly irresponsible because that's the type of stuff I would be interested in. I want to see who came up with, the good old English standby, she sells seashells by the seashore. Like, I want to know. Okay, so we could bricks that makes sure that we get a fourth land and can curve out, but then we're kind of not using it super well. Store a Porvilau Povar Povilau Lami Van Vaimi Noga. Wow, nope, that is not working. I think we do the Thousand Moons crack shot. I think the bear is better. Um, Dismantler could slow them down a little, but I think it's better on blocks, and we want to try and get in damage when we can. You know what it means? Oh no. Table with broken legs. Oh! Because Stur? Okay. That makes amazing. You clapping for you. I'm genuinely impressed by that. I think we just run out the dismantler here. Your check, so it's not that hard? Gotcha. That does help. Alright, sounds good. Dun 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 dun. Da da dun. Tithing Blade. Okay, that is a tough one. I think we get rid of the crack shot. It's like the drunker version of Polish. Polish, like Polish is already drunk. Okay, I will take your word for it. That is a family of languages that I'm not very familiar with. The closest I get is a teensy bit of Russian, but even that I can't remember the language family trees over there. Czech linguistic family. I do remember that I was like deeply surprised. I think it's Romanian is technically a Romance language. Okay, it is a Slavic language still. Okay, Slavic, yeah. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't 100% sure, and I didn't want to get that wrong. There's so much accidental contradiction between the two, like cher, I can't even the cherství in Polish is stale and cherství in Czech is fresh. Oh, love that. Antonyms, I think that is, where it means one thing and then the opposite thing. I do. English has a couple of words where they are like that to themselves, which I find very funny. Um, I'm hard pressed to think of an example at the moment, but trust me, it does exist. I think we do Envoy, and the next turn we can glorify our suffering away the gnome onto the Cloud Guard and the Envoy, and hopefully attack in. Although, then they just double block, which feels pretty bad. And maybe we actually keep it around so that we can clay-fired bricks craft with the gnome. Crafting with the gnomies. List of antonyms. List of or it's auto antonyms, I think. English auto antonym. It's not quite. Yes, auto antonyms. Okay, game, right, focus. Master's Guide Mural actually seems pretty good as well. So we get to make a 4/4. So, yep, just cracking it in the air. Pew! Especially with Death Touchy thing on the ground, happy to not attack. If Pomorza doesn't help, then maybe the sea will, but if the sea doesn't help, maybe Gdansk will. I'm assuming these are famous Polish historical figures, because I feel like I've heard Gdansk, but I am not confident once again. Oh, cleave. That's a very good example. Um, or dust, because you can dust something off, or perhaps Gdansk is a city. Ah, okay. That would explain why I'd heard it as a proper noun. Um, but yeah, so like dust, because you can put on a light dusting of sugar, you're dusting it on, or you can dust off your shoulders or your shelves. And Pomorze is a region like on the top of Poland. Okay, gotcha. So then probably some sort of historical. Well, they aren't helping you, but maybe this place will help you. Try your luck elsewhere. Um, so Oltec Cloud Guard we still crack in with. I don't think we run in our ground creatures yet because their blocks are just very awkward, and I don't think we're currently fine. We've got something that's breaking the board stall, so we don't need to give them the opportunity yet. And if we can flip the clay-fired bricks next turn, it gets a lot better. There's no way to translate that one. Totally fair. So put it in Google. I'm very curious to see how that gets butchered. Okay. So Uchenbach is going to be a problem. Kinda. But we're still chipping in just fine. So I think we envoy. So either we can make a 1/1. I don't think we want to use the Dauntless Dismantler yet. So chip in for 4. What are we going to block with? Actually, it might be better to make the 1/1 Gnome, because then we can double block. Well, I guess we can block with a 4/4 and a 3/3, and then that, in theory, just kills it. They might have a combat trick, though, so do we... I think we hold off. I think we make the Gnome. I'm not sure how we're going to block. We'll feel the vibes closer to. Guess we could also do, like, our 4/4 and the 1/4. This is absolutely not what you expected? Oh dear. A gunman with a gun with a gun with a gun with a gun. I'm guessing Google isn't quite picking up on the nuances there. Google does like to do that with similar words. It seems to like pick, this is how we're going to do it, and then run with it. So I think we block like so. Sometimes you think language is a prison for the mind. Interesting. Because we structure our thoughts in language when that's not necessarily how we would need to think? Or, yeah, how so? I'm curious. Elaborate, please. Okay. I'm okay trading. They have a second Ukenbach? Okay, good for them. That's nice, opponent. That is sufficiently goofy. I am very appreciative. So let us play fired bricks. We'll get rid of the Sunscribe. Yeah. I've tried to see if I can think without words, and it's really tough. Okay, so we absolutely attack in the air. I think we just actually also attack with all of our things with 4 power or greater, because yes, they get to trade 1 and trade here, but I think we're honestly okay with that at this point. On a rainy morning, instead of eating as earthworms, the little lizards and the little worms ate the flesh of cress on an empty stomach and vomited into a hot roasting pan in a row. Wonky. I'm assuming flesh of cress is like watercress? But yeah, no. Words are a very interesting thing because they allow us to communicate and interact and work together, which is huge. I mean, that's more than opposable thumbs, even, I think. There's a Neil Gaiman quote about basically, do you believe in magic? Well, I can write a book, I can write a story that makes people cry real tears from across the world, people who I've never met. So yeah, I think there's magic. Okay, still feeling pretty good about our board. Um, so yeah, I don't know. They're very impressive from that perspective. That's the one with the double z at the beginning. Okay. Um, but so it's there's a lot of very good that comes from it. That was not wording properly. Very funny discussing words and then not stringing together a proper sentence. Um, but yeah, I think there's a lot of benefit to it, obviously. I think they're very impressive. I love words, but if we could just communicate, there are a lot of times where I have thoughts in my head that are feelings that I cannot put into words. And if there was some way that we could do that, if there was telepathy where we could just give people that information, I think that would definitely be more useful. And I wonder what new thoughts would be created. But then you also have to wonder, without such structure, how would our art change? Would we have the same great works of poetry? Certainly not the same, but would we have any works of poetry? I have to wonder. Because a lot of poetry is about form. I don't know. I think we can keep this hand. On the street of the vein lived a certain vein. One time this vein's vein popped and that vein no longer lived. Fair? If my vein popped, I probably would also not be living for very long. Okay, another green-white, or blue-white. Dear lord. Let us see what they have. What a wacky little sleeve. What a strange little guy. I like the little guy. He's a little funky. That's spooky for us. Let us... So 2/4 blocks it? I think that's probably best. Would love to be able to tap that, but such is life. Love to draw another land as well. Woot woot. Howdy, Cholera. How goes? I think we do take a double block. No! Well, it still only kills one thing, so could have been a lot worse, honestly. But I'm not very favored in this match, I think. I did Gladiator! We played a little bit of that yesterday. I've not played Cowtech, but very much enjoy all of the like pactorical things, even though they are very cheesy. Currently doing a draft so that we can hopefully pay for the Mastery Pass, since I've actually gotten a fair bit. I think no blocks. Ouch. Disruptor Wanderglyph. Whew. We are very strapped on land. So we could turn the Tinker's Tote into extra power and toughness on the board. I think that's kind of what we need to use. I think that maximizes what we've got going. Oh, we can put it on here? We'll try that. No attacks. You've been jamming some Gladiator yourself, Cholera? Have any fun with it? Aw, bum 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 bum. A flea was pushing a flea. The flea was crying because the other flea pushed the crying one. The flea. Funky. Some tongue twisters are just very, very strange to me. But, they don't need to make sense. They need to be interesting exercises. Okay, I'm okay with that removal spell. Oh my god. Land, please. So we can cycle, and maybe we draw a land, but if we don't, I mean, like, this is one of our best ways to deal with things, but I'm gonna try it. Wow. Okay. Yikes. Oh, there's an English sentence. I forget the exact number of it, but it's like buffalo, 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 because there's a city called Buffalo. There is the animal buffalo, and buffalo can be a verb, as in to like push and move people around. You can buffalo someone out of your way. Okay, so they have two 4/4s. I think we need to do the adaptive gem guard. And I think we need to tap both of these. Hope we survive and try and make it big enough to block. King Carol bought Queen Caroline a coral-colored bracelet. That one is actually almost a tongue twister in English. King Carol bought Queen Caroline a coral-colored bracelet. Coral-colored is a little tricky. Intriguing. So we do Thousand Moons Infantry. Viskia Viskia Visgovic Visgoic Visgoa Visgoka See, it's another one that's just variations. Shipwreck Sentry is not the worst. So okay, so we're going to tap two things. We can play one other thing. If we play the Dismantler, it allows us to, if they try and play another artifact, it comes into play tapped. Does that help us? We tap this so it untaps and we can block. But I think we do, okay, we do the Sentry. Yola Lohala Yola, dear lord. So, okay, we absolutely tap this because it's free. Then my brain is like, oh, tap the token, but we're going to be chumping with it anyway, so we probably actually tap that, or no, because we can double block, so yes, we tap the token. My gut feeling was right. We do that, then this untaps, and we can double block one of them with these, and then the 5/5 hopefully just blocks another. They might have something, but hopefully this is stabilized. Hopefully. They draw a land. They can craft, which is gonna suck. Oh, rough. So now we do have to chump. I think that is game. We had a potential out, but I don't know how we recover there. Why don't other animals have languages like we do? Well, I know that whales and such, some cetaceans, very intelligent creatures, I know that they have accents. So I don't know if we can say conclusively that they don't, right? I play this, and then they attack it. Yeah, we're just dead. Like, I don't know. It's a good question. I know that we still don't really understand the mechanism of language in the human brain very well. Um, that's something that like there's a lot of arguments in psychology of if that's like an inbuilt thing. Word mimicry. Good question. That actually was something I was going to bring up. Oh, what's it called on Netflix? Netflix psychology show language acquisition. This was something that wasn't babies. Was it babies? It might have been babies. I'll look at it. I'll put it in the Discord. But we don't know what a word is. Yeah, that's yeah, trying to define that, like the single engram, right, of what it is. I guess engrams for memory, but like the single unit of what a word is. There's differing definitions and philosophies. I forget the exact name of it. I'll need to go back and look at some of my notes. But basically, there is a particular brain structure that songbirds that do have mimicry and learn particular songs share with humans that other species we have not found having that. So there might be something relational there. Um, it's language acquisition is a really interesting thing because it's like, is it something where we know that we aren't born able to process language? But we are born able to essentially figure out what is speaking language to us and filter that out. That's something where we've demonstrated that very young babies, right after birth, are able to parse pretty much any phoneme that human language has produced, right? They can hear the subtleties in pronunciation of glottal stops, of the tongue clicks that some African languages use, of particular nuances in pronunciation, while I'm here struggling trying to get the sounds, the like GH that's formed by the X and IPA and whatnot. While I'm struggling with that, because that's not a sound that I've used a whole lot, I'm having to like figure out, well, I've heard loch because I had parents who loved like Scottish culture and whatnot. Trying to get that to click. Um, Basically babies can hear all of those things, but we eventually lose the ability to stood um but we eventually lose the ability to parse those because it's basically babies are born with the ability to learn a lot and that they've undergone synaptogenesis. And then we go through synaptic pruning, which is basically refining things because more is not always better. We want streamlined things. I think we mulligan this hand. This looks a bit better. I think we ditched the boulder. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. It's language is a really interesting thing. Um, I forget exactly. Oh, right. Why don't other animals have languages in the same way we do? And the answer is I don't think we fully know. I think we're still trying to understand what what we do means. Um, and I think that there's also we have seen that there are a number of animals that do have some degree of something that could be construed as a language. So I think that's a very complex question that we are a ways away from answering, because I think the components of it are still being defined. What's the difference between pruning and culling? Very similar, honestly. I think culling typically has a somewhat more negative connotation. We absolutely exile that. Um, because it's often used in a very like harsh context, whereas pruning is often used in like a gardening context. It's like to prune a tree so that it will blossom more. So both still mean the same thing. Both of them, you are removing things to typically promote the health and growth of things. Culling, I guess, is less for promoting growth, though sometimes it's often for like ending misery and whatnot. But yes, both are the removal. Pruning is just typically a sort of semantically nicer word. Do we trade a gnome for 5 damage? I think the answer is yes. Play fired bricks, so that we but we might also want to counter that spell. This is tough. If they draw land, we absolutely want to counter that. And then we get to discover. I don't think these things develop us out enough, so I think I'll hold up the counter spell. Play a land, play a big thing. Yes. Okay. Ouch. Yes. Discover 6. We're gonna get something very small, but yep. But at least that's one fewer giant threat we're having to deal with. Tinker's Tote can help a lot, actually. So, grab a plains. Lovely. And then we Tinker's Tote. Play Cowtag. We might. Once we finish this draft, we'll buy Mastery Pass, and then I can do probably a game of Cowtech, and then we will switch over, do some Baba, and then some more Jump King. See if I can get past the first area. One more land, and then we flip Clay-Fired Bricks, and I feel a lot better about things. Ugh. No, Mineshaft Spider, why? Well, at least we can equip the Deconstruction Hammer if needs be. We might also hit the Scythe. He's Gucci? I didn't know he had an official name. I am pulling your leg. Okay. Oh my god, we actually drew it. Awesome. So we will hold off on Hammering. I think we get rid of the Tinker's Tote. Because we want this for chump blocking and whatnot. I will happily attack in with the 4-3 for now. If they want to trade, they trade. Okay. And then we can triple block the Kin Collar. And drop some kind of decent creatures next turn. They've got a combat trick that really blows, but I think we'll make it. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Okay. That one is spooky. Well, Thousand Moons Infantry. Then we equip up the Thousand Moons Infantry. Ugh, wow, my voice. Gravelly. And... ooh. So they can equip that up, it will be a 7-something. So let's Glorify Our Suffering. Sacrifice the Gnome. Add some counters. The Scythe is gonna hurt, but we probably can take... I think we can take 7 here so that we can Deconstruction Hammer. Next turn, or we can double block. We double block, they kill the Thousand Moons Infantry, which has Vigilance, which is probably very useful. I think we just take it. That feels bad, but life is a resource. Would have loved to draw not that. But okay. How do I go about learning new languages? Again, very flightily, I do not recommend what I do. The fact that if you are Czech and speak English, your English is way better than my Czech, so I should be taking advice from you. But for me, what I've been doing, I've been trying to use Duolingo to build a daily habit. I understand Duolingo is not the be-all, end-all of it, but it's a very useful way for me to try and get into the habit of at least exposing myself to different languages over time. I use it as a structure to get some basic vocabulary, and then I try to go out and consume media in the particular languages, is typically what my process is. I haven't been doing a whole lot of language learning recently. I've kind of been slipping. I've just been doing like 1 Duolingo lesson a day, and I haven't been watching a lot of foreign content, but that's by and large my process. Although English is easy, just watch Twitch. Well, that's, yeah, I've definitely heard from a lot of folks that wait, hold on. Yeah, we can do this. And that's not only as a sorcery, so we get to attack, we get pseudo vigilance. I know that part of why English is so commonly around the world, I mean, there's a lot of, political influence reasons, but it's because we're kind of a cultural juggernaut in that a lot of internet and a lot of, like Hollywood was a big part of exporting it. Grammatically, you'd say that Indonesian is easier. Interesting. I have not engaged a lot with Indonesian. Nice. Yeah, we had fun. That's... oh, wow. I was going to say, I know only one word of Indonesian because Javiola Rene from Hololive in Indonesia I thought I could remember the word for peafowl, and I can't. It's like barak or something. No, merak. Merak? Is that it? Merak. Indonesian. Yes, peacock. Okay. I do know an word of Indonesian. Uses the Latin alphabet with less structural anomalies. Yep. Yeah, English is just very weird because we borrow so much and our grammar is a little loosey-goosey. I love our contractions though. Like, okay, I find y'all to be a very good very useful contraction. It's very informal. I like it a lot. But when it gets into things like y'all'd've, like you all would have, I like it. It's useful, but it's very goofy. You really like English? I think you might be one of the first people I've heard actually like it as a language. Awesome. No, I find it very pleasant. Obviously I've grown up with it. Um, it's very goofy. I think of English kind of like I would a favorite garden gnome. It's a strange little guy that I like to keep around because he's funky. Anglish is better? What is Anglish? Seeker of sunlight. Okay. We're getting greened. Pathfinding Axejaw. Okay. Ooh, and they're going to make a very big Axejaw very soon. English is a boon word speech. Huh? I think my English isn't working very well. I am not following. Anglish. English is a kind of English which prefers native words over those borrowed from foreign. Oh. Wow. That is wacky. Oh wait, we know that's I forgot that it had flash. I think we take our lumps? Or do we chump? I think we take our lumps. Because we can adaptive gem guard and try and get that big enough. Okay, holding it till last moment. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try and get more damage in. Do. So we will tap these little goofy guys. And these ones. And hope they don't have a kill spell. Still can't block this turn, but we're getting there. No blocks. They didn't flash it in. I'm intrigued. So I think what we'll do then, we will, rather than playing something out, I think we just hold up. I think we tap these, and then we hold up Hurl into History, so that we can counter the equipment when they play it, and just get them. Is the hope, is the thought. Exploring. Growing Rights of Itlamok. I forgot that this was in this set. I know that was in original Ixalan. That's kind of rad. We block. What you gonna do about it? The thing that we knew you had. And now you can't grow your other things. Hey! I didn't know that Hurl into History didn't read go fetch a deconstruction hammer into play. Huh. Funky. Well, we can absolutely tap those things. We ult-tech Cloud Guard. And I think we can afford to tap 2 gnomes. They are just going to chump, but that is a scary thing for them, hopefully. If they have Destroy an Artifact, if they've got like a Shatter effect, we will be very, very sad, but even so, you know, we've got a flyer, we've got stuff. We're not just out. But yeah, no, so I not come across Anglish. That's a very interesting concept. Um, I've not come across I've not come across the concept of basically languages, but then reducing sort of the space that they exist in, the what words actually get used by it. Um, that's a very interesting concept. Um, so we grow with that. We grow with these guys. We envoy, and then we'll glorify her. There's a French novel without the letter E? Oh, wow, that's a significant writing constraint. Yeah, imposing very strange restrictions on stuff is very neat. That's how long is that novel? That would be so incredibly tough to do. Yeah, it's the most common letter in a lot of in a lot of languages. I know it's the most common in English by a pretty significant margin. I think it's because E typically represents a sound that's fairly easy to produce. Um, because isn't it often used for like the I forget what the IPA form of it is, but the like schwa, the sort of sound. I guess that's U. I don't know. Why is E so common? 300 pages without the letter E. I am in awe. That's fascinating. English or not English, French novel without the letter E. Avoid. La disparition. Oh, and that makes me so sad. I don't know French. And reading it, if I can't that's really interesting because you can't read a translation of it. I mean, you could, but that's it misses out on an important part of it. That's really intriguing. It reminds me a little bit of like how technically speaking the Quran is only in Arabic. If you're reading in any other language, it's a translation of the Quran because it's meant to be the literal word that's been passed down. That so, it's if you read a translation of it, you're missing out on an important bit of it. You're missing out on some of the nuances. Translating it not using E would be the real challenge. True. So trying to make a translation that would be true to form. Because I imagine that there would be some words that you couldn't find an alternative for. It would have to be you would probably have to do a rewrite rather than a translation. Basically a reimagining. I think we mulligan. That's just too slow. Here we'll ship the boulder. Tiny Bones! I still don't know the origin of Tiny Bones, but I get the feeling that he's somehow involved with the Rakdos cult because he and Rakdos get along very well in the story, and I can't imagine large demon would be very I don't think they would just get along in the wild. I'm willing to offer that trade. No. They do not take it. Totally fine. They will probably attack in for the scry. I think there's always a lot lost in translation. Absolutely. Um, but it's still I think it's very interesting when it's more than just things being lost in translation and something that is, no matter how faithful the translation is, cannot capture the same cannot capture the same thing. Ugh. I don't think we quicksand whirlpool that. This is awkward, just as a 3-2, but I think we do it. Of your car. Car equals cat in discard. Okay. I will take a look. Actually, can I... Yes, okay. Not going to accidentally dox myself. Whoop. Got Discord on the other screen, so it's not gonna show off because I use a different account for I have a different account for uh, being Johan versus being myself, which is part of why I'm sorry I'm sometimes slow to respond to stuff on Discord because I don't actually directly get the notifications. How would I accidentally dogs myself? Good question. No, just don't want to show off my personal Discord username and whatnot. It would be fine. I trust people in general, but still get nervous. We at this point, I think I might actually just quicksand whirlpool this. I should actually, as a matter of habit, always be switched into the Johan Discord. Oh my god! Cat! So cute! I love fully black cats. It's very sweet. Thank you for sharing. Haha, joke's on you. I don't have any money. No, that's... privacy on the internet is always a very strange thing to me. This is an instant, so we can wait for them to attack with an Impacall. Or we can play this. We aren't going to be able to trade. Ugh, an Impacall is such a problem. But if they attack with her, we can exile her after we don't... They get the trigger anyway. Haha! I am not even a partner yet, or affiliate, so I don't actually get any ad revenue. That's still something. So to become an affiliate, you need to have 50 followers, 11 away. Pew pew pew. Need to have 50 followers and on YouTube. Now on YouTube you need I think 1,000 subscribers. We're a little far away from that one. But yeah, I still don't know if I do manage the 50 followers and average of 3 viewers across stuff. Although, hey, I've actually been getting pretty close to 3 viewers on average with streams, myself included, but it's been fun having y'all hanging out. We've got like a little thing going. There's multiple conversations. It's good. So I think we do trade here. And I think we block here. Yeah. Or actually, yes, we do that. Oh, that was not great. We can quicksand whirlpool. Yes, 11 people who are definitely watching and not followed. Yeah, we need to leave everything back to block. That's not great. Well, it's like I don't know. I don't know if I'll go for affiliate because you know, I'm doing this for fun. If at some point this is something that, you know, at some point I will not be a full-time streamer unless it somehow does magically pop off, which I assume it won't. It will drop back down to a hobby. And I don't know, I don't know if it's something. Has it really been 2 hours already? Yes, it has. I just make the time fly. No, they've just got us dead now, don't they? Attack from Hell's Heart. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's something I don't know if I want to inflict ads on you guys, right? Is kind of what it boils down to. It does offer some other stuff, like subscription can be fun. There's some things that we can do with that. There's, you know, it opens up some features. So I might play around with it. I'm still on the fence. I'm not going to, like, instantly go, yes, monetizing. But we will see. We will find out. I'm just having fun. Right is a fun word. Yes, yes it is. The fact that it changes objects into text, but not only into the text of the object they are. Baba is you, for anyone who was taking a moment on that. Surprised it didn't get introduced in World 7 along with Make. That is very true. The fact that it's so far down into basically extras, a bit too meta-y? Yeah, I mean, Baba is already inherently a kind of meta game, right? Like, you are the core gameplay is moving around the rules that are affecting you. So, I don't know. Too meta-y, I think, is a strange concept. Morph the Great. Here's some great names. I don't like that you can't just friend people, friend the like most recent person anymore. I think that used to be a thing. Um, because I don't know, it was fun to just like, hey, I like your name. It was cool. Yeah, you kicked my butt, but I had fun. But I also understand that there's a lot of folks who maybe don't use that responsibly, one might say. So I get it. It's just it's sad when there are things that have cool opportunities and the way people use them makes them less cool. It's kind of the whole don't take a dump where you sleep, right? Clay fired bricks. Yay! We're getting bricked up. I shouldn't say slang that I'm not 100% sure. I'm not cool enough to fully know. Liked it for getting people's deck lists? Yes. Yeah, it's like, oh, they beat me, but they beat me in a really cool way. Please tell me how you did that. That's yeah, no, there is a lot of cool stuff like that, and it sucks when it's just, it sucks when those cool things aren't sustainable because people aren't cool with them. But such is life. Humanity has good, humanity has bad. It is what it is. I just figure try and be one of them good humans. Try and promote, try and help the folks around you be good people. Don't, like gatekeep stuff, but like, hey, are you having a bad day? What can I do to make it better? Because I think a lot of times people act poorly um, based on the situation and less on as like an innate matter of course. So do what you can, make the world a little better where you can. Proof of concept for the Baba map. Getting more advanced stuff. Some even more advanced things endgame, all words in use, various gimmicky offshoots. Yeah, that scans. Interesting. So I think we do play out the Ultec Cloud Guard. I don't think we're blocking with it, so I think we might actually not tap the Gnome. I think we tap the Cloud Guard and this. We grow. So that way we can attack in, they can't trade for it. And then we can, if they grow this even more, we can chump with the Gnome. And then next turn we can hopefully... Oh no, they got us! Okay. That's probably game, but next turn we can Envoy and Quicksand something that's tapped. They've got a lot of just good little value accrual. Ooh. That would have been even scarier. Do we keep the Gnome around? I think we keep the Gnome around. I think it can block more damage later or turn into something valuable. Okay. I think the 4/4 is tougher for us to deal with since it's double block. And keep scaling up. We will attack with the 3/2 and the 3/3. Yes, a lot of progress. Definitely. I was a number of times seeing the next area, which is huge progress. Thank you for noticing. No, Jump King is fun. I'm having a blast with it, and I am enjoying. I think it's very good for talking because it's something where I can just kind of do the thing and not be too worried about it. So we can trade there. Yeah. Oh, definitely not. Why would you even say such a thing? So we absolutely flip this. I think we can't afford to attack with the Cloud Guard this turn, because we need to block the Phantom. Well, yes, I think we do need to block the Phantom. I think we can attack with both of these, though, and that forces at least one block. And they're going to try trading. I'm okay with that. Okay. We are in a precarious position. But yeah, I don't know. Jump King is good for just sort of like, I'm chatting and things are happening. That's kind of why I like Magic, is because it's something where... Oh! Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I think I still... God, I can attack with both. Actually, I can attack with both, right? Because even if they remove it, this isn't necessarily lethal, and it probably forces a block. Oh, okay. That was scary either way. It's slightly safer to leave back on blocks, but because there's a higher chance of you being able to negate the damage, but I figured that if they're using combat trick, they're using it there and not on us. Deep Cavern Bat, I think we've probably got this then. But yeah, like Magic is a game that I enjoy, and I can kind of sort of autopilot. I mean, I definitely make misplays. I am worse at playing it while streaming than I am when I'm just playing on my own. But it's a fun thing to just kind of be doing. Um, they gain one life, so still feeling pretty good. Pretty good. We'll hold on to the planes, keep them wondering. Okay, we got him. But yeah, so it's something where I can talk. I can be talking about language and whatnot while I'm running. I'm not having to worry too much. Jump King is nice because it's not like I'm spending any resources on it. It's just, haha, knight go jump, brr. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Baba is You. I am having a lot of fun with as a game. I think it's really tough to think hard about the puzzle and also juggle talking. Um, it's one that it makes me think hard. So and sometimes it's weird. There are some days where when I'm thinking hard, it helps to speak it out loud. There are other times where I just go silent. So I don't know. Puzzle games are an interesting one for stream. I mean, obviously, some folks enjoy it, but cracking the cryptic, I don't believe I do. Let me look that one up. And this is a more keepable hand. We probably ditch the Gem Guard, because we've got a white source. That is good. Cracking the Cryptic. I did see, I'm very excited. Apparently Slay the Spire 2 got announced, and that's going to be dangerous for me doing anything in life. Biggest Sudoku channel on YouTube? No, I will need to take a look at that. A Sudoku channel. So are they like looking for interesting variations on Sudoku, or is it just getting more and more difficult? I'm very bad at Sudoku. I enjoy the like lower difficulty puzzles. About Sudoku, cryptic crosswords, and puzzle games. That's how I found out about Baba Is You. Gotcha. I will absolutely check that out because that would probably be a very good place to learn a little bit more about how to provide cogent commentary while thinking hard about puzzles. Although I suppose I'm assuming with YouTube, reasonable chance that it's pre-record, which probably makes it a wee bit easier. Icely puzzles. No, I do not. I think I actually ditched the whirlpool because I'm feeling more proactive. Yes, yes, because this draws us another card. This makes a 4/4. I think I start with the 4/4. But yeah, I will absolutely check that out. Cracking the Cryptic. I've searched it in my phone, so I can go find that as well as watch back the stream. Um, no, no, I mean, could have been worse. Shipwreck Sentry. No, let us draw a card. Another envoy. Sweet. We definitely would love more lands so that we can flip this. Just a guy that plays a lot of custom Baba and other puzzle games. Okay. That's again, I'm trying to get into that, but I really appreciate Vim rating. I have not interacted with Twitch as a platform a lot. I honestly kind of forgot that rating was a thing. I need to get better at that. So I've got a tab with folks I'm following open, and I'm trying to catch streams. When I know that folks in chat stream, I'm trying to follow and watch. I got to watch Pitta play some Terraria the other day. Um, I'm trying to be a good streamer. I'm trying to do all that good stuff, but still learning. We will sacrifice there. Um, okay. Like I typically my typical consumption habits are like Northern Lion, loading ready run, YouTube video stuff. Yeah. Okay, on YouTube? Well, still, I will try. I should still be trying to check out folks even on YouTube that are other forms of creators, right? So, thank you. These are all things that I will be taking a good look at. Okay, I am all right with that trade. My one problem is that now we don't get to... The gnome is gone, so we can't craft immediately this turn. Do we want to make a map for crafting, or do we just pump out a gnome? If we... So, okay. Thinking through the lines here. 5, we make a gnome, and then we can attack with our 2 3/3s and probably get through for 3 damage. Or we Restless Anchorage, we're holding up, we're representing another mana, but we're not going to have anything in hand, but we're guaranteed to get through for 2, and we have less risk. I think I like that a little better. They could have a removal spell, so this might put us off land, but we're going to try it. The hemipulley.itch.io page and see what other masterpieces he's made other than Bava is You? Possibly. That could be intriguing. Do I run out the island this turn? No. Because if we draw another land, it doesn't matter. If we do draw something, it's also not going to matter because we just make our land draw. Okay. That is alright for now. That is spooky, but they're leaving it as a blocker, which we can tolerate. Phew! Time for us to start pooping out 4/4s. But we will not be attacking. Yeah, so maybe after this draft in Gladiator, we can take a quick look at that, and then go from there. Alrighty. Well, the Anchorage. And I don't think we attack with the 4/4s. I think we just kind of stock them up. And let's make our anchorage bigger or draw land. Thousand Moons Infantry? Sure, that does work for us. Bum bum bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum-dum. Okay, Value Engine online. Turns out, making a 4/4 every turn, quite strong. Who would have guessed? Up the beanstalk, we've become very familiar with this little guy. Wow, this has actually been, we've basically made our entry fee back. Sick. Blue-white artifacts, yo. Fergie Plurgy. Fergie Plurgy? Anchorage into bricks. Sure. Nice, nice. I do love Dwayne. That was a very good April Fool's thing. It's, I don't know, it's just fun. Pet rock, googly eyes. Love it dearly. I am a simple ink blob, simple creature comforts. What? Tendril of the Myco Tyrant. Actually, I got this as one of my card rewards yesterday. Funny. Yeah. So, not too spooky right now, but gets very spooky down the road. Well, hammer time. Not as good as Colossus Hammer, but funny. Also, a lot worse than Wrench, I think. Ah, god. Karlov Manor spoiled us with some actually pretty decent equipment. Namely the Wrench, but like Knife was decent. Like the art on the Micro Tyrant Popper or the Tendril. All of the fungus guys are pretty sick. Ooh, Kutzil. Right. Neat. Okay. Oh, that actually works really well with Tendril because their base power 0/0. Cool. No attacks. Fungi are a really interesting. What a weird form of life that we get to coexist with. Um, Also spooky because I mean things like cordyceps and whatnot are really horrifying when you think about them. Yes. Aw. Oh, I'd rather they destroy that than anything else. Um, yes, I don't think I've gotten through all of the episodes because my free trial of Apple TV lapsed, but I've watched a decent chunk of it, and I have watched through the I haven't watched anyone play through the original Last of Us, but I've watched the Last of Us Part 2, watched Jacksepticeye play it, and what a gorgeous game. The other thing was, man, so I've been to Seattle before. That is a place that I've been, and it freaked me out how like dead on some of the stuff was. That was like it felt like Seattle. Um, that whoa. That I think that's a really difficult thing to actually get that to do that in a game where where you're capturing the vibes of a place so that someone who's been there before, even if it's only a couple of times, it evokes the feeling of that place. Because like, okay, Seattle has what, like the Space Needle is, like I guess the big thing, right? um and even without that, just the feeling of the buildings, the feeling of the layout, it felt like that, which is really cool. That's neat. I love Assassin's Creed. um they The fact that the Notre Dame Cathedral, they were part of how they were able to. I I have heard, I have not looked into it too much, so I should say this with a grain of salt. But my understanding is that the modeling that was done for that in one of the Assassin's Creed games was helpful in some of the reconstruction process, which, if true, is very neat. Okay, so opponent has some value too. So this will draw them a card, but I think that's okay. If we draw a land, I'm feeling pretty good. Do I sacrifice this for the 3 life this turn? Maybe. Oh, do they have another artifact destruction spell? That would be sad. But, like, I think I want to flip the clay-fired bricks and then the mural. Okay. Well, never mind. I guess I'm not flipping the mural. Okay. So, clay-fired bricks, because that just lets us go wide. We exile the hammer. And we make some little guys. And we get to chip in for a lot more in the air. And then I can feel comfortable using the gnomes to, like, double and triple block. Also grows our Anchorage and whatnot. A marauding Brine Fang will be just a little scarier. Child of the volcano. Okay. This is doable. This is doable. We have flyers. Yeah, so next turn we do Brine Fang, which helps lock down the ground a lot, and then... well, we could do this, and then we have lethal in the air in 2 turns, but I think I'd like to get the ground more solidly locked up. Plus, we can Anchorage to get lethal in the air, so yeah, I think making sure that we stay alive and giving them bigger, scarier things to worry about, rather than the flyer that's going to kill them, is usually a good thing. Because, like, if they kill the flyer, we're in a lot more trouble than if they find a way to kill the Brine Fang. But even then, Anchorage kills them in 2 turns on its own, and instant speed removal that can deal 4 damage. They might have, but it's going to be a little tougher. Okay, they make some 3/3s. So they probably do have the, like, deal 4 damage spell. I'm getting the vibes. But I think we will Glorifier Suffering. Nope, never mind. I was going to fire up the Anchorage, then Glorifier away a gnome, put 1/1 counters on each. So, hey, we're in the positive. We're making money. So, last draft, or last game of the draft, one way or the other. Let's see how this pans out. But we definitely get the Mastery Pass, and then we can do a game or two with Cow Tech. And then we'll take a look at hemipulley.itch.io, do a little Baba, do a little Jump Night, just have some good times vibing. I do, one of the things I need, so I need to work on my art so that I can have some slightly more engaging visuals for y'all. Need to keep working with the friend on doing some, like, BGM or even just, like, theme music for doing, like, an opening thing. Also need to get a better mic. Because I would love to improve my audio quality, and I don't know. I don't know if it would be good vibes. I enjoy singing. I am not a good vocalist, but I enjoy singing. I enjoy things like sea shanties and whatnot, which, I don't know, it would be fun, but I definitely don't want to do that with this very crunchy mic. I would need to play around a lot more with sound engineering. But we're thinking. I also, while I'm looking at that, why is magic called magic? Good question. I believe, from my understanding of the origins of the game, magic, I don't know why it's called the Gathering. But basically it was based on a there was some book that Richard Garfield, who was the guy who sort of came up with the idea, I believe the book was called The Five Colors of Magic. So I believe that's where things sort of came from. Is there magic in magic? Yes, there are five colors. I was about to look at the back of a card, but we have sleeves. We'll take a quick look at it, but it's basically there are five colors of magic, and that is sort of the underpinnings of it. There is all magic draws from these sort of like five sources, although there's a weird sort of blue, green, red, orange, purple. Exactly. Um, blue, green, red, uh, white, and black. There we go. And then colorless is kind of a thing. Should have been called Mono Wars or something like that. Yeah, I think that would have probably been a more accurate description, and I think probably would have been. I don't think that would have sold as well. Mana Wars, The Gathering. But yeah, so I believe The Gathering is meant to indicate that it's like the colors themselves are gathering. So that's a combat trick, right? No blocks. It's either a combat trick or they're very ballsy. And if they're that ballsy, I will give it to them. Colossadactyl. Yeesh. Well, Master's Guide Mural. And then... Grow. And Pass le Turn. They want to name it like that originally, not your idea? Well, it's... So, yes, understood that wasn't your idea, but it's interesting that that's what they wanted to name it, right? Um, I don't think it would have... I think they settled on the right idea, but I do... Mono Wars would have been more descriptive, even if not necessarily as compelling. People main decking artifact hate. They're probably right. Well, let's grab a plains. Now the question for them, I think, is do you go for the adaptive gem guard or do you go for the guide mural or the clay fired bricks even? So this is a spooky place to be in. I don't think we want to glorifier away anything. Do we hold it for value? I think the answer is no. I think we play it out to the board. We absolutely tap these two things. There's no reason not to. So, and we can run away Boulder next turn, which can hopefully kill one of these things. Yeah, I think we run this out. I'm figuring over the edge we'll probably hit the adaptive gem guard, since that's the more immediate threat, so we're getting ready to do some double blocking and then Boulder. I think that's how this is how we're gonna rumble. But yeah, so everything in Magic is about having those sort of five colors and how they combine and so on and so forth. So if it's +2/+2, blocking with 7 I think is fine. I think I'd rather hit the Sentinel than the Colossadactyl. Oh, no, okay. That hurts. But, oh man, what do we boulder? I think in this case we boulder the Sentinel. But, ain't looking so hot, Chief. And I think we still boulder instead of flipping something, because we need to deal with these fairly immediate threats. So we hit that. We leave these back for double blocking. One thing survives. We flip the mural, and then we can clay-fired bricks. Yeah, the bat is going to be a problem. They might have a combat trick here, which could also be a very big problem. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, big stomps. Big stomps. Well, at least, again, we can, in theory, double block. So, we craft first with the thing in our graveyard. Yay! Then, next turn, if we survive, we can clay-fired bricks, make another Namara's Gathering good remix. Honestly, I think that would probably catch people's attention more than Mana Wars. Huh. So, Boulder goes away. This means artifacts have entered. We need to find a way to deal with the flyer. I think we now can kinda survive on the ground, but we need a way to deal. Card game but cool, The Gathering. Cards, buy them. The Gathering. You've gained so much life off this bat. Okay. Aha, and they didn't get to return something. That. Oh, okay, so we can Restless Anchorage to block the bat, and hopefully they don't notice. So we don't make a 5/5, but yeah. Play card game forever. The Gathering. Yeah, that's a little too on the nose. I say after. Cards, buy them. Okay, like, we try this. They might have a removal spell, but... hopefully they just didn't notice. Oh, okay. Now we're cooking. Oh no, what are they going to destroy? I think we Envoy, make a gnome. Gonna destroy the manufactory. Yeah, that makes good sense. But at least all of our things are still big now. Or do we start chipping in? I think we actually chip in and start making thing. This simple card game will have you hooked in minutes. I can't get past Diamond. Play now. Now that would be the mobile version. So they have found a lot of ways to deal with artifacts, which is frustrating, but probably a good policy. We're not in a great spot, but at least we are chipping in, we are accruing value, and their value engines have slowed down a bit. However, we are on the back foot. Didact Echo, draw a card. But honestly, can't get past diamonds. That hits. Magic the Addering. Yeah. Yeah. There are some cool ads though. I do like some of them. I know that's not what you're poking fun at, but although, man, it was really jarring. I'm going back, I'm rereading some of the story that I kind of spaced out on, and the Zendikar Rising story, there's a chunk where it looks like rather than like using art from cards or getting specially drawn art, it looks like they took screenshots from the trailer, which is really jarring. Watching a short ad now for 30 minutes of ad-free card playing. Oh, can't imagine if they, God, if they made they made it so that it would like interrupt a game. Okay, so Colossal Dactyl could be an issue. So we definitely fire up Anchorage. The +3/+3 in Trample is an issue. But so first we explore. And then we'll explore again. Okay. That was not the optimal outcome. Because we'd like it bigger than the Colossodactyl if possible. So that we can keep chipping in. Although, if we can get them to trade, the Didact Echo could do some stuff. Then we'll try that. Gonna be another land. Nope, that's a good one. We absolutely keep that. I think another Thousand Moons Infantry, because that can absorb a lot of damage. Watch add to get a second chance. Oh, okay. So Uno, there's a very old card called Shahrazad after the like 1001 Arabian Nights, the story of the gal telling a story every night because she was going to be executed because the sultan liked to sleep with a lady, sleep with a wife, and then execute her, look for someone new. But she kept cliffhangers going, kept him wanting more. So this old Shahrazad card is 2 white mana, and it basically says, hey, stop the game you're playing, and then take what's left in your deck, what's left in your library, and then play a new game of Magic. I think, but I thought, isn't it 1001 Arabian Nights? Yeah. I don't remember why it's 1001. There was probably some sort of numerical significance to it. Okay, so we cannot attack in with the Anchorage now, but it should be 1000. Should be nice and even. Okay, I get that. I feel ya. God, if we just have to wait for them to mill out, that would be unfortunate. So I think we're just playing stuff out to the board. If we can get one of our removal spells, that would be good. Base 10 is arbitrary? Well, I mean, we do have 10 fingers. Like, I think there is a certain amount of reason to it, but yes. Watch add now to reroll quest, I could see, but yeah, I'm picturing watch and add to get a Shahrazad effect, where you just stop the current game and then you play one for a benefit, which would be so miserable. So miserable against real opponents. There's a reason why Shahrazad is banned in pretty much every format. Okay, they have petrified the Brine Fang. Disappointing, but alright. How much would no ads cost? I don't know. The MTG arena economy is kind of whack because like wildcards are a very important thing for people being able to like build decks. You can accrue them through buying packs normally and whatnot and kind of get more value, but they have made it very expensive to get wildcards. So I honestly don't know. I do not know what they would make it. It would probably be more expensive than I would be willing to pay. Okay, I think we just start making gnomes. Yeah. Basically, we're just looking for a removal spell for the Colossodactyl, probably. Okay, that's also a problem, but we can kind of deal with that. Watch add now for 2 times XP for the next match. Yay! Yeah, that is certainly an issue. Hello, giant flying dinosaur. Think they might have us. Especially if that keeps happening. So we can block for a turn. It will trample over. Cool. Combat tricks be useful. I know I cut mine. So we have to do this. It will give us another flyer, which is something at least. Oh, it would be fun at some point, I think. There's a very old Magic game called Chandalar, where it's you're like out in the world and you're collecting the cards that you're playing with. And I could see that being a mechanic in there, and I don't know, that could kind of be a blast. That could be fun to play on stream, even if it might not be great. Even if the ad thing would be a bad experience. Watch ad now to blow up the opponent's deck and instantly win. Yes, we have cards like that. Some planeswalkers. Okay, so how we need another removal spell if we want to fly in safely, or something to give +1/+1. Taking a look, what do we have? So Deconstruction Hammer could help. Another Whirlpool. Yeah, we're kind of running out of things that are gonna work. So they have 6 blockers. I don't think we have lethal, but we're that's something else we need to be keeping an eye on, is whether or not is there a tax evasion card? There's not tax evasion, but there are cards that are strictly speaking tax cards. Like there's land tax and things like that. Smothering Tithe. I don't know about tax evasion, but that would actually be like that could be interesting if there was something where if you would be forced to pay an extra cost discount by a certain amount. I'm not sure how that would work rules wise. There's also greed, true. But like that would something that discounted extra costs. Land tax is very broken. Yes. I concur. So they did not mill. That is reasonable, since there's a reasonable chance this comes down to who has more cards in library. So okay, they have 7 blockers. Just doing the math, they block 4, 4, 5, 5, and then so 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, and then 2 3s. We can tap one thing down, so that's something. So they have 6 blockers. So they block all our 4s, both our 5s, and one of our 3s. So then we do 10, 13, 16, 18. So little ways off, but it's something to keep in mind. We're pumping out another 2 2/2s each turn. Stream today is already 37 minutes longer. Honestly, didn't even notice because of how vibey the streams are. Yay! I'm glad. I'm glad that I am good vibes even when playing something that you have no knowledge of. And yeah, that's part of the fun of this, right? Is I can just sort of go along because like, hey, we're having fun. We're on a heater with the draft. We'll do a little gladiator, and then we'll check out some stuff. Do a little Baba. Do a little jump night. Just having a good time, hanging out. Envoy of Okanek. Aha. Oh. Make a second one. Phew. So now we're up to 22 damage. Okay. So we're at 11 mana. What's Jump Knight? Just like timing wise, or what is the game? It's oh wait, is it? I meant Jump King. I'm like, oh, it's a little knight guy. Wow. Yep. Brain doing the good. Okay, so now we are at, it's an additional 3 because they would block the 4, so that's going to be 25 damage, then 27. Okay, we're getting there. We're counting. If they find a way to blow up the Cosmium Kiln, that's going to be bad. Oh god, that's actually... Oh. Like, I think we'll need to take the shot if we get it, but... This is a very grindy game. There's not been a lot of... Brain is not warm up. Yep. I don't know, there's been a lot of sets recently where you don't get matches like this, and I really kind of like that. I like games like this. Okay. When a land enters, then if you have 7, you get to transform, and then they get to dig for creatures. Ooh, and they got Cosmium Blast, so that also changes the math. Petrify. Oh no, and we aren't going to be accruing more value off of it. That's what makes Petrify way better than a pacifism. Well, hopefully they dig themselves into milling. I think that's our hope now. Dear Lord. Okay. Haha, we can counter something. That could actually be quite relevant. Yeah, so they have an extra blocker and we aren't pumping out more, so... Okay. Like card games, no specific round time because it's just based on how skilled your opponent is and how skilled you are. True. I do like the decking mechanism of Magic because there's still a skill component, right? Like, if, in the opponent's case, I would probably not be digging because right now, I'm not actually progressing my board state and I can't kill them. I'm in a much more precarious position than they are. So the fact that they're digging looking for a way to break it, I mean, if they stop digging now, that's probably fine, right? Because they are still slightly ahead of us. I will draw out before they do, but like they need to be mindful of it, and if they aren't, that's a problem. That's still a skill component. And like you can play cards that allow you to loop longer, you like, I don't know. It's not, I like it because it puts a certain limit on things, even though there are ways around it. It will generally mean that things will come to an end. But it doesn't do it in a way that is completely up to just, am I clicking the button fast enough? There are things you can do to influence it. Yeah, so 11. Okay, they're discovering. Intrepid Paleontologist lets them get back dinosaurs. Okay, so what would be problematic if they got back? It would be problematic if they got back Thrashing Brontodon. I'm not going to counter this. I might counter the Thrashing Brontodon if they do get it back, but... So they will now draw out before we do. If we counter something and we discover, it forces us to discover. So we will be behind again. But we can do that, and I think we need to do that to make sure that we've got enough power and toughness to deal with stuff. We will cast the Deconstruction Hammer. But at this point, that doesn't actually let us get through stuff. If we draw our removal spell, we can remove the Colossal Dactyl, and then start hitting through the Mineshaft Spider. So, it's not nothing, but this is still very wonky. Adaptive Gem Guard, also not a bad hit, because we can just grow that very large so that they would be forced to make multiple trades. And we can use the things that they've locked up for that, which is part of why I don't like Petrify and such as much, but it's still not bad. I mean, we would have had them potentially dead with the Envoy before that. So, do. We can't tap too much to grow this too fast, though, because we need a lot of blockers. We can tap both of these for free. Then we can tap the hammer and the Okonek. The Envoy, there we go. I think I can even... I'm getting a little cheeky. I think I can hazard 2 gnomes tapped. Okay. So, like, that is something we might try attacking in with soon. Oh, wait! Oh, no! I'm stupid. By casting it, it enters with a finality counter. I didn't even notice that, so they get to recur it. Oh, that's real bad. So, that's going to make things a lot worse for us. Makes our blockers a lot less effective. We're still not too terribly off, though. Oh, okay. They are going for it. So can we survive? We want to survive and try and get favorable blocks. Okay. How are we doing this? And that might be a combat trick, but I don't think we can afford to worry about it. I really want this dead. We can... These are very good ways to line up. If we block... Okay. We block 1 there. We block like so. That's 7. Oh, if they've got the +1/+1, that really sucks. Is there a way that we can deal with that? This can be blocked by 1/1s this turn, which is interesting. But yeah, so let's think. So 3, that doesn't kill us. There, that's still fine. This would suck, so we can put... yeah, we can put, like, there. We need something to deal with that. That would still trade. We need a second thing there. Let's do that. And then, so 5 and 3. There we go. I think this is okay. I think a lot of our stuff survives. Even if they do have the +1/+1 anthem. I know, right? This is my kind of magic. I love thinking through stuff like this. This is my jam. So I'm glad that we've got some of that. And I think by also accounting for the like extra 1 damage, even if they have the +3/+3, we're going to survive. I don't know all of the combat tricks in this format super well though, so we'll see. I don't think we killed them on the crackback, but I think we're in a pretty decent spot. They could have let us mill out. So what have they got? They get to recur some of their dinosaurs? Is that what they're going for? Okay. But, like, we're going to get to do goofy gem guard stuff now. Um... So we tap that and the Brine Fang. We tap the Thousand Moons Infantries. This is a match. I am having a very good time. The Envoy, and I think one of the gnomes. I think we still got a pretty good wall of blockers, and they probably just take 11 here, but I think that's okay. Like, we have presented an actual clock. Okay. Oh, I should have re-equipped that to one of the other infantries. Sloppy plays. Yeah, if they dig more, they mill out, but I think they finally realized that, so they're just trying to get as much value out of this as possible. So that's 8, 12. Okay, so if we grow this twice, it should be okay. Dun dun dun. We still have our other removal spell, right? We still have a quicksand whirlpool. Nice. Tinker's Tote also lets the things grow. So we're 4 out of our 6 draws. I guess Attentive Sunscribe, but Attentive Sunscribe is still something to tap with. So 4 out of our 6 draws do relevant things. And then 2 of them are lands. Quicksand Whirlpool, awesome. They do get to chump with stuff, but I guess we keep it as an instant in case they try and kill. So tap, tap, ding. Tap, tap. Oh boy. And tap, tap. We could like try and go for lethal, but they can just chump, so. I mean, this is spooky. And I don't think it's worth it. I think they've already gotten their dinosaurs back, so I don't think it's worth it to try and whirlpool the archaeologist. Okay. And it also does get to a point where we might be able to do like a Hail Mary attack and really get them. We don't have a way to mill them anymore. Thousand Moon's Crackshot could actually be pretty relevant. Tinker's Tote. Yo! We grow even bigger. Or we grow bigger faster. So ding, ding. I'm sure this is very entertaining. But this is getting down to some very, very spooky stuff. So 12, 16. So I guess we don't even really need to grow it more than this. So, okay, this is going to be 4, 10. So 4, 10, 14, 18. So there would be 18 if we were trying to go wide. God, if they have a removal spell, this would be very sad, but like, there's a chance that we're able to just go wide enough to kill them. Okay, we will end the turn. Oh, they do have the removal spell. Well, that hurts it, but hopefully they feel comfortable attacking in with a bunch of stuff, and then we can get them on the crackback. No such luck. Well, we will... I think we just Quicksand Whirlpool. Didact Echo, we draw a card, which would be bad. Wait. Oh, wait. Has this goofed itself? No. Has it? Yeah, this doesn't... this isn't quite right. Interesting. Thing is, we can make a pretty big attack here. We can gain some life. So I think we need to do that. So we can gain some life off of this, and we can play another blocker. These two things can untap to block. So I think we actually do just like go all out here. Is there anything that we can like get them on? Not really. Quatley Scavenger, if they find a way to recur it, recurs something else. So sure. So bounce off, and then eat one. Okay. That's still a fair bit of damage, even if you blow this up. Okay. So they take 9, 10? Okay. 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 We have a chance to chip in for enough. Especially if they attack. I feel like this is sort of a from hell's heart, I stab at thee. Okay. Holy... I was not expecting that. Oh, man. There was a lot of back and forth there, but we did it. We went 7-2. We went all the way with this quick draft. Yo. Awesome. So let's crack some packs real quick. Let's get the Mastery Pass, and we'll do a little bit of cow tech. Ooh. Galta Stampede Tyrant. Haven't seen this. Oh, shoot. So if you can find a way to cheat it in, or flicker it, you can... Oh, okay. That can do some goofy work. Neat. And Unstable Cliff Bridge. Cool. Now, Mastery Pass. Huzzah! Finally! Cool. So that's basically 2,700 gems, 4,000 gold, so that's approximately another 750, so basically Mastery Pass pays for itself. Draft-wise. And then, neat, get some packs. Okay, so, oh, they actually fixed showing the mythics. So we get a Rakdos and a Delny. Urgent Necropsy, Kaya, Ansrag. Okay. Conspiracy Unraveler, and another Pride of Holclade. Nice. Conspiracy Unraveler is pretty neat. And then all of our ICRs from the end. No rares, and then some card styles. Oh my god. Orb! The promised orb! We can actually fill out our mastery tree. Orb! We have all the orb. Wait. Oh, that's right. You can queue up all of them now. Thank goodness. We can do all orb. all orb all the time. I don't like that if you click off. Ah, okay, so that was not. We already had that one. Okay. That's a little annoying if you click on the wrong thing, that it resets. What? Okay, got that. I want to get it all in one. It might not let you. That would be very unfortunate, but... Okay. No, it had done that and I was just being silly. Okay. Orb! Oh! So much orb! Fancy! Okay. Feeling pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, we'll do a game or two of Cowtech. And then we'll do a little Baba. Cowtech. The very prestigious college. VAC 7. So, as I understand it, Cowtech, you're basically trying to somehow bells and lock with life gain so that you draw your entire deck. I don't know if this is a good hand or not. It does have one ring, which is compelling, but I'm guessing there's a lot of things like this Callum where you can get like channel value and whatnot, so I'm going to mulligan, see if we can get some slightly better interaction. No, but we get to ramp a bit, and Binding of the Old Gods also helps ramp. Okay. Let's ship off the generous end. I think we'll do like 2 matches of this. We'll see how that plays out. And then puzzle times. Utopia Sprawl. The Sprawl of Topia. So I think we start with the black source, since we've got green and black. So if we needed to discard for some reason. Spring. Oh, does this not hit Bells and Lock because it looks at the combined total? That's interesting. Guess I don't fully understand how Bells and Lock works in that regard. As far as headquarters, so we're up against the Bard class deck. I haven't played Cowtech, so I don't know. I get the suspicion it's not a great matchup because aggro versus I'm trying to do something fun and combo off. It's probably a little rough. Okay. Search your library for a basic land. Alchemy cards, why? That's okay. I like Gladiator in concept. I think Highlander is a very cool format. I watch a lot of Loading Ready Run, and in particular Benjamin Wheeler, who is the guy who really pushes for this format to be a thing. But it's the alchemy cards, man. Some of them are really important in the some of those are very important to gladiator decks, and it's just really not my speed. Yeah, I don't know. That's me being a grumpy old man who likes playing it. I like playing in paper. I like a true to paper experience. Goblin Narcomancer. Okay, Jace. So that's one of our win pieces with... That's one of our win pieces with Bells and Lock. We can Binding, which will get us a forest next turn, but we can kill the Anarchomancer, try and slow them down a little. Don't know how well that will work. Syndicate Recruiter. Mill 4 cards. If there are 5 or more mana values, dig up the body. Okay. So, I guess we've got like a small reanimation plan? Is that what it is? Golos. Oh dear. Godos is big. It can do very spooky things. Spin the wheel. Because I assume this plays the world tree. Lair of the Hydra, okay. So I guess they aren't looking to spin the Golos wheel. And burial rites, so yeah, we are geared up for milling ourselves out to hopefully reanimate stuff. So sure, we'll get that. I guess maybe one that had a blue source so that we were closer to Jace. That would have been smart. That would have been real smart, Johan. There might be. That's when Thunder Junction comes out, I will probably just sort of jam that all day, but do not worry. We will move on soon enough. But Colorado was like, oh, do Cowtech. And you know what? I should play Cowtech. So Cowtech is very interesting. With Gladiator and other formats like it, that let you play a lot of very powerful cards, you are often in a position to build some very streamlined decks. So Gladiator is interesting because it is a singleton format. You do not get to play multiple copies of the same card, except for basic lands or cards that say otherwise. There are a few cards that say you can have any number of copies. So one of the most powerful decks in the format is Pact Thoracle, which basically you make sure that you don't even play duplicate basic lands so that you can basically play one card that lets you go through your entire deck so long as it doesn't have any duplicates, and the other card that says if you draw a card when your deck has no cards in it, you win the game instead of lose, kind of like Jace Wielder of Mysteries. So, like, there's some very interesting stuff, and Cowtech is built such that all of our stuff costs 4 or greater because we've got a card called Bells and Lock that lets us go through our entire deck so long as it all costs 4 or greater, essentially. So, do we have any way of surviving here? So, that's going to be 6 damage. We can return... Actually, so we can return Angel of Suffering. That's the other one. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is more high sorcery stuff. I know. And they had that, so they killed that. We go to 1. I know. I can't make good Yu-Gi-Oh! References. How's it going, Carsey? We're probably about to die in this match, and then we're going to do one more match with this deck, and then switch on over to some Baba. Put Zombot in this deck. Is that a Hearthstone one? I think we can see, or actually no, we can bring back the Angel. So we've got another shot. No, I'm not familiar with Zombot. I do not know the Zombot of which you speak. Alright, well, let's see if they have another removal spell. Zombot. Zombot. Card game. Oh, Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. Okay. I didn't know that existed. Neat. Oh. Ah, they had the questing beast. So... because this is a prevention effect, so we do need to block. No, you could have attacked with everything else, opponent. You had me dead. The best worst card? I will take your word for it. Do we have... I don't think there... So, Jace draw. Pot of Greed. Another good old Yu-Gi-Oh card. From Beyblade? Hold up. Oh, Supreme Verdict works. Yes, the very famous card game. I mean, you could get some cards spinning pretty darn fast. So we're finding ways to live slightly longer. And hey, mind, draw us 2 cards. It's kind of like Pot of Greed, but it costs. Oh, okay. Oh, right, and of course the Hydra. Good game, opponent. Imagine not milling that other guy. Well, we're a deck. We want our stuff in the bin because it's kind of like drawing cards for us because we've got a bunch of stuff to fish back out. You know, that's so we need the little Drake meme format of milling to win. No, self mill. Yeah. Why? Thank you. Dance for me, funny man. I like your funny words. They amuse me. Mr. Ed. All right. So last Magic game of the day. I promise. Okay. Well, at least last Magic game on stream. I often maybe play more than I should. Okay. This is not one we want. Only speak in Blue Eyes White Dragon. That would be a very limited language. Blue eyes. Dragon White. Very Pokemon-esque. Oh god. Magic the Gathering cards, but they speak like Pokemon. That would be. I I own my own crypto. Okay. Take an extra turn. Yes, that's probably good. Screw the Scarab God. Who needs that value anyway? Something from someone with a made-up thing on the internet. Basically crypto. True. Yeah, crypto is... I think it was very interesting. All money is made up. Also true. Now that we're off the gold standard, and even the gold standard is basically... Yeah. I don't know, it's... I think crypto was something that had a lot of very interesting potential, and then it got turned into fancy stocks, which is not a good thing for anything to be. Because I mean, yeah, like we're at the point where we already accept ones and zeros as currency. Most of us, direct deposit into an electronic bank account. But and there were some advantages of crypto in that space, but then people had to just go and I think NFTs is really what made it particularly atrocious. PNG of a blue eyes white dragon that the other person probably took from the internet. Yep. Hey. Helen the Fey-Blooded. Okay. He's a funky little guy. Yes. Third richest in that currency. We probably need another green source. Pull the strings. I'm honestly, man, it's kind of telling that Arena does not have a lot of good reanimation spells if playing Unbreakable Bond, but I guess we are trying to be 4 costs and above, so you make it work, but damn. Aw, darn. Unfortunate. Oh hey, here's one of the combo pieces. Oh no! The worst part. Well, if you don't have Carsey coin, what's your crypto? Good on them. They sacrificed it so I didn't get quite as much and don't exile it. So yeah, Sorin gives Bells and Lock lifelink so that we can survive milling through our entire deck. Okay. I think we Vorinclex. Like, Vorinclex would be horrifying if it made Pokemon noises. Or Vorinclex. Especially because, like, the actual name of Vorinclex is, like, very strange. Because It's got some of their like metallic glottalized stops, which is just what in the world. Oh, see, this is me being silly. I should have grabbed another blue source with that so that we could get to Nexus of Fate, but such is life. Get lost. No. Very rude of them. Well, eventually we can Sorin that back. Hexproof from artifacts and enchantments. Yeah, I too. I also played during that time. I understand. What, but the wilderness reclamation didn't? We saw that last game. Now Vorinclex has lifelink. What's not to love? Sure, we'll do that. Played when Zombot was meta? Never. Solid, solid. Oh. I do think that's one of the good things about the current the best worst card. I do think that's one of the nice things about the current Magic meta is like there's nothing that's too egregious. Really good but countered by literally everything. Yes, that is the way of most of my pet cards in Magic. Okay, hold on. We need to think. So we can So we don't have the other blue source. So we can Winsup Heath for a blue source. We can take an extra turn, see if we draw something else. Does that do enough for us? Probably not, but we can Virtue, we gain 2 life, we go to 5, we take 7, we can block one of them if they don't have a removal spell, and we can Sorin. I think we try that. The synergy is bad synergy and plays into the meta? Okay. Yeah, a lot of the synergistic decks right now in Magic are a little... They can't get going. I have not tried Marvel Snap. Part of that being, I don't really know... Oh, wait, no, we can't... Okay, so we need to do that to block. I miscounted our lands. Or... Yeah. When they're adding Baboon Hawks to the game... When are they adding Baboon Hawks to this game? There might be, technically speaking. I guess it would be a monkey bird, but changelings are monkey birds. But no, I have not tried Marvel Snap. I don't actually follow comics a whole bunch, so I don't know a lot of the... I haven't even watched most of the Marvel movies. So I don't know. It's something I might give a try, but it's not one that's been super on my radar. I am aware of people enjoying stuff. Ben Brode made that game. I am not familiar with Ben Brode. If you keep watching me, you will very... Oh, from Hearthstone? Okay. Oh, awesome. I'm very bad with celebrity names. I have literally sometimes forgotten my own parents' names, so... Okay. That is definitely a... That's a good record to have. They could have Shadow Speared and then I couldn't have survived, but... Okay. Yes, definitely. Exactly. No, my memory is sometimes very garbage. But I try. I do my best. Okay, that certainly does sell it a bit more to me. I do need to play some more Hearthstone. I'm still trying to figure out, yay! Bad memory buddies! But I might end up doing some Hearthstone. I'm trying to coordinate. I've got a friend that is interested in getting into streaming, and we're gonna see if we can try and get something going. And I think Hearthstone is probably one of the it's one of the games we overlap on, so a reasonable chance that we end up playing that. Okay, so we are dead. So what we need to do is Nexus of Fate roll the dice, basically. Add Kirby to Beyblade. Oh, I could just picture Kirby. Oh my god. So that was 1 in 81? Oh my god. Well, I think we should just Nexus of Fate and see what we draw. Jesus. What are the chances there? I don't know. Let's grab a blue source. I mean, probably just 1 in 81, but that is hilarious to me. Oh, hey, and look. Supreme Verdict helps. They make... Oh, memorize hundreds of proofs in uni. Yeah, that's honestly one of my big issues with, like, computer science as a field these days. That's... A lot of the interviewing process seems to be very focused on... Okay, so Lelia... Oh no, wait, we still just die because Lelia kills us. Okay. We tried. I guess we could have gotten back a creature, but we didn't have anything in the bin. Yep. Such is life. But yeah, no, it's a lot of it seems to be focused on like memorizing the algorithms and whatnot, whereas but the actual work of it isn't about that. It's just things have gotten so focused on efficiency rather than the essentially artistic creative process of it, which makes me very sad. Very interesting argument at school today. Is it ice skating if I'm wearing shoes instead of ice skates? Interesting question. Um, I believe I think that gets into a semantic thing, right? Because ice skating is a name of an activity which is commonly understood to be going on ice with specialty made skates and performing. I will get this closed down and get Baba up and running while I'm talking about this. Um, so yay, good magic day.